Alright y'all, so before I even begin the video, you already know, gotta apologize for just kind of being off the map for like half a year. I'm sure it's been some type of 2020 for everybody, but me personally, man, the year starts off with somebody doing a hit and run on my car, had to get riding again. I switched jobs like 2 times and eventually moved out of my parents' house. So yeah, it's been an eventful year for me personally. So that's personally why I haven't uploaded too much, but I wanted to get this video out a lot sooner. Sorry Ryan for this being kind of late. At the time I'm recording this, the topic's over like a month and a half old, so yeah, that's my bad. But yeah, I appreciate you suggesting the idea and your support on my channel. Really appreciate that a lot. But there hasn't been any other patch updates since then besides 8.1, which as far as I know only added the small battlefield, and they say they improved online. That shit's still just trash to me, but oh well, you can't expect too much out of a Nintendo these days. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take what we got from 8.0. But other than that, hope y'all's year's been alright and y'all staying safe out here. So yeah, with that, starting off the video, I think overall, of course, we got some really good buffs this time around. In fact, I want to say 8.0, we've gotten the most buffs in a single patch that I've seen for this character, as far as I can remember. And I feel like in tandem with 4.0, because obviously we've had more patches between 4.0 and 8.0, but I don't think we've gotten any major changes since the back era in 4.0. So in tandem with 4.0, I feel like Pit overall is just a little more fun. I'll get into the details in a little bit, obviously, but yeah, they cut down a lot of cooldown and startup frames in a lot of areas of his kit. So he's certainly more viable, but I wouldn't have the best idea of what the most viable version of him would look like in coordination with the rest of the cast. Of course, you know, without being too over centralizing, which is another thing I actually wanted to talk about this video, like what Pit would look like at either his most viable or I guess just hell, his most busted state. But you don't want me designing the game. If it were up to me, arrows would have no startup, no cooldown, and Nair would actually work and reflect projectiles. Power of Flight would keep the speed that it currently has, but work like Rob's up B, to where Pit would have fuel on it. Like, he could activate Power of Flight, go like a set distance before he could do something like jump or just act out of it with an aerial or something. And then before he hits the ground, he still has a little bit of it left, and by the time he hits the ground, it basically resets. Like that's how I want Power of Flight to work, man. That would be so clean, because like he's so slow in the air, so that would just allow him to basically chase opponents vertically a little faster, really vertically or horizontally. Then really I think it works both ways. But yeah, obviously I do think that would be just a little busted, you know, him being able to down throw, down air, neutral air, send you away, and then chase you and follow up with like a forward or something. That would be pretty crazy. But again, thankfully I'm not the one designing this game. So like I said in the last video, I really like the buffs in 8.0, but my main issue in the 4.0 video is like, while we keep getting improvements to the character, the improvements aren't really fixing what's kind of innately wrong with the character, which obviously is his hitboxes. Like, obviously every character is supposed to be good in some areas and either poor or exploitable in another, and I feel like those pros and cons are what help balance the game. Like, certain characters can have similar pros and cons, but to a different degree. Pit Meta Knight, for example, being a winged swordsman with multiple jumps, Meta Knight being a lot faster in the air with landing options such as Dimensional Cape, and being safer than any of Pit's landing options like Guardian Orbiters, which did get improved this time around, but you still have to know when to let go of them so you can auto cancel before you land, otherwise you still get punished like usual. It's not as bad, definitely not as bad, but still got to be a little aware of the timing and whatnot. While Pit generally has more knockback on his aerials that cover a bit more space than Meta Knight's, and I'm only using this as an example because although they kind of have similar aerial drift, it's definitely the biggest factor that keeps Pit from being too overwhelming. Meta Knight to a certain degree, but I don't think it's as bad with him, especially since he has more jumps. He can, like, you can really play either one of the characters and you'll definitely feel a difference. But I do understand why they limit his aerial mobility so much, especially with how good his aerials are, despite how inconsistent they can be. Like, you definitely don't want Pit's down air on a character like Meta Knight, for example. You know, like, I feel like Meta Knight's up air works similar to Pit's down air, or at least the Pit's sour spot down air, to where they both use it to hit the opponent over and over again in the air while trying to combo them. But just imagine Pit's down air on a character with more aerial drift like Meta Knight, or even worse, somebody like Palutena. That would just be ridiculous. But I do wish they'd give him, I'm not sure how aerial drift works exactly, because I know there's several factors like airspeed, fast fall speed, air acceleration, jump height, and gravity. So I feel like improving either Pit's aerial acceleration or jump height will help him to juggle opponents a lot better, because even with the improvements to his up air, like they trimmed down the startup by 2 frames, which definitely helps. But again, his aerial jump height is pretty low, and I'm not sure how fast he reaches his maximum double jump height, but maybe that could be improved as well. I'm pretty sure out of the entire cast, his aerial acceleration is somewhere in the middle of everybody as far as ranking them. Yeah, it's either somewhere in the middle or a little bit lower. I forgot exactly. I mean, the move's faster, it has less cooldown and kills earlier. Like, that's huge. So the only issue I have with it now is the hitbox. It's kind of similar to Nair, really. It's like they just took Nair and just flipped it above his head. Like, people still fall out of the move pretty often, and yeah, like I said, it's pretty much just a vertical Nair. I don't really know what else to say about that. So that's still pretty bad. I mean, that's kind of what I was getting into. Like, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy the buffs. Like, no one can complain about less cooldown, less startup, and more kill power, but please, I want this move to eventually just be consistent. And not even just Pit's up air. You got up airs like Fox and Palutena where people just randomly fall out. But who knows, maybe Sakurai will eventually feel like hiring someone that knows how to program multi-hit moves. So like I said, can't really complain about the buzz, but if only the move was just a little more consistent. But seriously though, I am glad this move actually kills now. It finally does something besides grant stage control past 130. But as mentioned earlier, Pit's mobility in the air limits what he can do with it. Like, I feel like he should be able to combo into the move. Like, if I land an up air, I want to be able to threaten with another up air, even if it's just a 50-50. I at least want to be able to have that chance to combo or use it again as a follow-up. You can kind of do it on stage with platforms. Like, if you full hop up air someone and land on a platform, you can basically buffer another one. But as far as I know, that's pretty much the only situation, since you get to use your grounded jump height as opposed to your middling double jump height. Next is the move I really don't even feel like talking about, up smash. Kind of the same case. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm really glad it kills earlier. It's kind of like up there, all it did was grant stage control. But again, why doesn't the move connect consistently? Like I said, I don't even feel like talking about it. It's old news at this point. Like, everybody knows what the deal is, but man, they're clearly paying attention, but just to the wrong stuff. I mean, not the wrong stuff, but you know, there ain't really much I can say to up smash. And part of me wants to say the same thing for Guardian Orbiters. Being able to release them a lot quicker allows Pit to basically just hold them out a lot longer when attempting to land, whereas before you'd have to release them while still really high up in order to avoid the severe landing lag. So you'd still be vulnerable on the way down majority of the time. After this patch, you can basically release the move right above the ground when you're landing for minimal lag, and a little higher up to auto cancel. This move in general is now just a really good get off me tool, and thankfully is no longer considered the worst reflector in the game. The only thing that annoys me with this move is, of course, the fact that his big ass feet extend his hurt box outside of the shields, which, okay, I guess that's supposed to be an exploitable weakness vertically, but horizontally, I really, it confuses me sometimes. I'm not even sure if people are hitting his feet whenever I just randomly get hit from the side. Like, attacks just seem to permeate right through the shields. Like I said, I can totally understand him being vulnerable from directly underneath, or even above for that matter, but it does throw me off when I want to repel an attack, any attack, whether it's a projectile or someone trying to punch or kick me from the side, and it just feels like my attempt is simply ignored. I can't really call this a design flaw. Maybe it's, I'm not sure if it's just the game not working or whatever the hell it is, but regardless, I prefer Pit's left and right sides to be completely protected, at least during the start of the move, because I know the move does shrink the longer you hold it out, but there are times where I'll see the move come out as soon as I'm about to defend against something, and I just get hit regardless. But it's yet again another move that's really hard to complain about this time around, just because of how generous the development team was. But yeah, that would be another step closer to my quote-unquote ideal version of Pit, is not getting hit from the sides from time to time, just randomly with full shield. Now down smash. This shit's hilarious. Okay, so in 4.0, they, I forgot what they did by now. I think they increased the knockback, so it in theory killed earlier, but it was because of the angle it sent that it really didn't. So this time they changed the angle and now it actually kills earlier. I think just that alone would have made it kill earlier, but thankfully in tandem with the last patch, yeah, this move is actually a kill move now, so that's fantastic. At least the front of it is. I know the back hit never really had too much of an issue, but yeah, it instead launches more horizontally, so again, you actually kill earlier with it, which is really cool. It's already his second fastest move, which makes it easier and more rewarding to use. And in most cases, I'd still prefer to land the back hit if possible, as it's still stronger than the front, but more often than not, I'm not in that position. So like I said, this is really good. I'm really glad they came back almost a year later and said, oh yeah, we didn't really fix that. Let me go ahead and actually do something with it. Whoever worked on it, you know, whole development team, or there was an individual, who knows. Maybe Earth really is looking out for us. I miss that, man. Now at Down Tilt, listen, I first heard about the 8.0 patch from one of my homies. Like, I didn't even know it was a thing until he texted me about it while I was at work. And man, it felt like he said, yo bro, I got some heat for you, man. I was like, oh shit, what we got? Down Tilt got buffed, and I was like, no fucking way. Like, it was already just such a good combo tool. I mean, it wasn't like the best thing in the world, but man, the fact that it's even better at what it does, like allowing you to basically just follow up at lower percents and even at higher percents, like it now launches people close enough for Pit to follow up with the new and improved up air at higher percentages. So that's yet another kill setup he has outside of down tilt back air, which is also improved, but was pretty much his only option besides forward air, which wasn't really a kill move. And yeah, like before it was just down tilt back air because of the angle ascent, and now I find it a little bit harder to get back air just because I still don't know how to do that instant turnaround reverse aerial technique. I still do the basic a RAR method, like where you move forward, turn around, then jump, and then put aerial. But other than that, yeah, like it improved his kill and combo potential a lot. Like it's a blessing. I feel like all this did was further validate that old ass combo tutorial video. So we take those. So with the 8.0 buffs out the way, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit more about my quote-unquote ideal version of Pit. Really, I don't feel like I got a lot to ask for here. I know I was kind of bullshitting at the beginning of the video where I was talking about, yeah, let's make near reflect projectiles and give make a B work like Rob's a B. That would be cool. Don't get me wrong, that would be cool. But mainly, like as I've said throughout the video, I would just like for his shit to work. But other than the obvious stuff, I really would like him to be a little faster in the air. He just seems a little too unambiguous. Like, I don't really know anyone that's thinking, oh man, what's this guy gonna do whenever, you know, Pit's in the air, whether he's trying to approach or land. Is just you only got so many options. I mean, platforms do help if you know your side B ledge cancel ranges, but and either that or the down B ledge cancel. But other than that, I mean, there ain't really much he's gonna do to really mix you up. I mean, yeah, the multi jumps help, but again, they're so slow. And like Pit's gravity is also really low, so he doesn't fall very fast. Which I feel like in theory is really good for his combo game. Like he at least is able to keep himself in the air to abuse moves like down air a lot. But other than that, I find it very difficult to kind of mask what I want to do with Pit. Because me personally, I would like to play a bait and punish style. I don't really like to play aggressive or really go in with Pit. Because again, he's not the most ambiguous motherfucker in the cast. But even if you were trying to, his ground speed is decent. Like, it's above average. I'll give him that. But I feel like if he's just gonna be that slow in the air, then yeah, he at least needs some hitboxes that match what you're seeing on screen, basically. Like, if I see a blade that's right on Mario's nose, even if it's just a tip of the Palutena bow, if it's like right on Mario's nose, I need that shit to hit him. I don't want to be even closer to him and be within Mario's range, because that's, again, defeating the purpose of having a disjointed character. Although I know he is kind of like Meta Knight, where both of these characters, pretty much out of all the sword characters, have the least amount of range. At least from what I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Like, I know you got your average sword characters like the Fire Emblem cast, Link, even Young Link to an extent. While he has a smaller sword than most, his hitbox still at the very least match what you're seeing on screen. But it is shorter than average, obviously, because it's Young Link, and the Kokiri sword obviously just looks shorter than things like the Master Sword or Falchion. But then you got characters like Pit, who's, I understand, using only half of the Palutena bow at all times. Like, it's not like he has a hilt at the end of it like all the other swordies do. He has a handle in the middle, and he's either like spinning it from the middle, and you only have like the rest of the range of the blade from where his hand is, or he's got it split in two where it's basically the same case. But looking at ultimate frame data hitboxes and whatnot, I'm just wondering why Joker has more range than Pit. Like, literally Joker has a knife, but somehow I'm not sure if it's his body proportion that's kind of playing with me a bit, but really, yeah, it does look like Joker's knife has even more of a disjoint than some of Pit's moves with a whole ass blade. But hopefully we get there soon. Like I kind of predicted in my 4.0 video, we're probably just gonna see little changes here and there throughout the lifespan of this game. I wouldn't expect them to just completely overhaul or completely fix every single issue of any character in just 1 or 2 patches, but we at the very least get to see minor improvements throughout time. So I'm still gonna try to have some hope in Nintendo here. But other than that, that's all I have for y'all today. And I just want to thank Ryan again for the video suggestion. Sorry this took so long, but yeah, if you or anyone else have any more video suggestions, I'd be more than happy to work on them. I've also got some video topics and ideas outside of Smash, like Pokemon or even manga and anime, if any of y'all are interested in that. Basically just thinking of how I can expand my channel outside of just Smash, because as I've stated in a previous video, I'm not really a professional or anything like that. Like, I literally only play Pit. Like, until they add another Kid Icarus character in this game, which I'm sure nobody else wants. Yeah, I don't really see myself investing my time in this game with anything else other than whatever this character has going on. But I do got some what if ideas, like what if Pit in Smash Ultimate had Smash 4 jab, like if he was able to cancel it like he did in Smash 4 and do stuff like jab down tilt or jab grab. Like, I think that in theory would be clean as hell, but that's just one of the ideas I have for like Smash what ifs. I also got what if videos on Pokemon, like, you know, what if heavy duty boots were introduced in Gen 4, or what if the Rotom appliance forms all match their typing in Gen 4. You know, simple what if theorizations like that. And unfortunately, I'm kind of the same way I am in Pokemon as I am with Smash. I like to keep up with the series, don't get me wrong, but as far as competitive play goes, I really only play anything between like 4 and 6. But yeah, those are just some ideas I got at the moment. I'll probably start working on one of those here pretty soon. So yeah, again, hopefully it won't be another 6 months before y'all hear from me again. I'm gonna try to get at least one more video out before the end of 2020, just as a way to hold myself to being more consistent with uploads and whatnot. So yeah, until then, I'll catch y'all next time. Thanks for watching, and again, just let me know if y'all got any video suggestions and ideas. And other than that, y'all take care of yourselves now. Peace.